Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hidden Gems. This is Ebony Empress, your host, and I'm based in the UK. And today I have a new hidden gem for you, a hidden gem that I'm uncovering and exposing to the world so you guys can learn about this person who has some really special skills that you may not be aware of. So today we are talking about how to make your business successful, how to remove the blocks that may prevent you from having a business that isn't successful because maybe there's some things getting in the way. And Emma is a specialist. She's a specialist in supporting businesses to success by removing the blocks that might get in the way of that success. So Emma, welcome to Hidden Gems. How are you today?
I am very good, thanks, Ebony.
Oh, great. So where are you based? Where are you from?
I am in Ireland and I was in the UK for a long time, but now I'm back in Ireland for the time
Okay.
being. So yeah, not too far away.
No, we're not that far away. We used to be one country, right?
Yeah.
And now we're two countries, but we are very close. I love Ireland actually. I traveled to Ireland not that long ago. So, and I have some friends in Ireland. So I'm looking forward to going back one day. But in the meantime, let's have a talk about business, right?
Yes.
So tell me, what is this? What are the skills that you bring to people who are in business that can help them to unblock their success? What's going on there? How does that happen? What is it?
Okay. Well, yeah, like you were saying, I've for 10 years I've been doing this work, and now I specialize in working with entrepreneurs, particularly female entrepreneurs. And they come to me when they have tried everything. They've done all the things. A lot of them, they've spent all this money on all these programs and courses and coachings, and they still haven't got the results. They still feel stuck in their business, whether that's they're just starting out and they're feeling really frustrated and stuck, or they're doing well, but they just can't move beyond, the 10K or the six figures. It's always the same things. So, and what I do is I help them with the inner peace, which is a huge part of success. This is like the imposter syndrome, the self-doubt, the way that we sabotage ourselves. Because you know what I've realized is if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do no harm. And really, I think a lot of people project it all. They say it's the government, it's the economy, but really, there are always people who are succeeding, even in challenging times. And that can be you. It's just about having the right set of beliefs in yourself and in your business, basically. And we all have money blocks. We all have them. I'm still working on my money blocks. And for me, like some people define money blocks as beliefs about money, but for me, that's negative beliefs about money. But for me, that's only part of it because for me, money blocks are any beliefs and feelings that you have about money. So like things like money is bad, money is evil, we should be poor, it's noble to be poor, anything like that. Beliefs about money, beliefs about yourself. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve money. I was born poor and I'm always going to be poor. And beliefs about business and about the world that really block the flow of money. So I work with all three of them because what I found is that like this is such a huge part of success that people are not talking about enough. There's a lot of focus on the strategy, and there's a lot of people out there with their shiny courses and programs, and they're promising everyone that if you just follow these steps, you can become a millionaire or you can earn
Absolutely.
10K in a week or something like that. And it's just not, it's possible for some people, but most people, we have these blocks. We have negative beliefs that we're not good enough, that I can't do it. And I have to say women have more of these going on. Also, women of color carry a lot of these, like women suffer more from imposter syndrome. So that's why I really focus on women, because it's really time for women to rise up and do what they love and follow their passion and make great money, because we have been taught for so long that it's all about giving, giving, giving to someone else. And a lot of women don't even know how to receive a compliment. So how the hell are they supposed to receive money? The people have such weird energy around money. And most people have a super toxic relationship with money, and then they wonder why money isn't supporting them in their life. So I work with all of that, and I help them do that really deep inner work that's really transformational, actually, because your money, the way you treat your money, it's obviously it affects your whole life. And also money blocks show up in other places as well. If you're not letting money into your life, it often shows up in your intimate relationships and also in sex. You know, what else are you not receiving? Pleasure, intimate relationships. They're so connected with money. So that's why I do what I do. And it's not just about money, it's such deep work. And the hard part is, you know, carrying all this shit around. And the easy part is letting it go and stepping forward and creating the life that you want. So that's what I do. And yeah, I'm just really passionate about helping people move beyond their fears and really step into the possibility and the success that they came here to bring to the world.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a lot. And I feel like I feel your passion. I really am feeling the passion that you have for this work that you're doing. So let's break it down. So someone, the average woman out there, because that's your market, right? The average woman out there, how do we start to address what may be a block that, you know, and often I guess it's something that we're not even aware of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
how do you address
yeah.
that subconscious issue that's going on that we may not even be able to see?
Well, people come with they say I'm not earning enough money, you know, we're doing all the things and nothing's working, for example. And there are three kind of red flags that you've got these going on. Um, and like I said, even Bill Gates is working on his money blocks. He wants to earn more money. Trust me, he's working on his upper limit. He wants to make more. So I think there's a huge amount of shame around money and making money. That's the first thing. But like the three symptoms that I've kind of picked out, like they're quite general and broad. First thing is you're doing all the things, you're burning yourself out maybe, and nothing's working for you. That's sign number one, that there's something deeper going on, that you have some conflict in your energy. If you're doing all the things, you're burning yourself out, nothing's moving you forward, just going around in circles. That's like a flag that you've got some inner work issues. That's the first one. The second one is if you know exactly what you should be doing, but are not doing it. And I see this a lot with business coaches and even people who do the same type of work with me. They can help other people with this issue, but they can't help themselves. So when you're procrastinating, you're procrastinating or you're trying to be perfect, means you're afraid. You're afraid. So there you've got a conflict. And the third kind of flag is if you're just about to get to that 10K, just about to get to the six figures, and you're just about there and you're just about to grab it, and well, it's like someone just pulls the rug out from under your feet, and it's just the deal just goes away, and then you're back where you used to be in your comfort zone. So those are the three signs that people come to me with, presenting with these things. And a lot of people, they think that that's the problem, but these are just symptoms. Whereas when you've got these going on, when you're sabotaging your own success, the first step is to recognize it. And then we got to, you know, work on what the work that I do is I kind of go back to where they took on these beliefs, because when I see people, I can really see, especially when they start talking, I can really help them tune in to what their negative beliefs are, and then we can release the energy. Very often it's like a child part, and that's the most common one. It's a child part, like a very young child, because before the age of 7, you know, we're just going around in theta and we take everything in, everything the parents say, everything the parents do. You know, it's not just what they say, it's what remains unsaid. So if they don't tell you there's not enough money, but there's a scarcity vibe, you're going to take that on, and that's going to become your reality, and you can be like just living out that pattern until you address it and release that pattern. And I work with that child part and help them to feel safe to let this go, and then so many amazing things and new possibilities can open up for the person.
Okay, so thinking about women,
Mm.
being a woman myself, what if it's just about the spending, that you get
Yeah,
money, but
yeah,
you spend it before you even get a chance to save it or do something else with it or invest it?
yeah.
Could that
So
be the issue? The shoes, the
definitely.
bags, the clothes, The
Yeah,
clothes when you've
yeah.
got more clothes, all that kind of stuff. Is that an issue?
That is also an issue, and you probably need to add something. I've seen people like that, and that is also an issue. That's like self-worth issue, which really how much money you make or how much money you keep in your business or in your life is really strongly correlated with how you feel about yourself and your self-worth. So if money is slipping through people's fingers rather, I should say, it can really people are looking for that external validation to prove that they're enough on some level. So I must have the latest Fendi bag so that I can feel like I'm good enough. And they're not getting that worthiness from within. They're looking from something outside. And it doesn't work. It might make you get the little buzz when you buy the bag. You're like, and then wait, but after a few days or a few weeks, gets old and you're back to your kind of your usual way of being and you need to buy the next thing. So it always comes down to self-worth. I mean, really, the money blocks, it's what people come to me with, but really what I'm helping people with is self-valuation, because that is the key to letting abundance in your life and letting money in your life. You are muted, I think, Ebony.
I'm unmuted now. Okay, good. So thinking about these women that you're helping, when you're starting to drill down to the problem that they're having, where where it originates, and then looking at how you can support them to better lives. Where do you start? Are you looking at their early childhood? Where do you go to start finding out how you can get to grips with the issue?
Well, I mean, the work that I do, it's energy work. So I help them kind of connect with that feeling. And then very often they're trying to push it down. They don't want to feel it, they repress it. And that's how we end up with these energy blockages, because we've been taught, you don't want to be angry, especially if you're a girl. Don't want to be angry. Don't want to, you don't, it's wrong to be angry. It's wrong to be this. So it's wrong to be jealous, so we suppress all these, bad feelings and they create blockages. So what I do is I work with people and get them to connect with that, and then we just release the energy. Basically, a lot of times, like there are three steps really. It's recognizing the problem, releasing it, which is the other step that I do, and then we get to rewrite or we rewire the person with a more positive belief. And sometimes people come to me and they've done a lot of therapy and everything, and it hasn't helped them. And maybe they already have lots of awarenesses about what's going on, like they know that I'm like this because my mother dropped me on the head when I was a baby, or whatever the story is. But so very often people can get very attached to their story and they become identified with it. And it's part of who they are. And that creates a vicious cycle where, they're so identified with it that they don't want to let it go because it's such a personal thing. It becomes who they are, their identity, and that can really sabotage your ability to. If you believe that you're poor, if you believe that you need to be just follow your parents, for example, that's another really common one. You don't want to surpass your parents. You're waiting for your parents to validate you, and this again is a child part. So consciously as an adult, you can be out there doing all the things. But if there's a child part of you that's like, it is not safe. If we go out and make more than our parents, we are going to be abandoned. We're going to die. This is how deep it is. It's not logical. This is emotional stuff. And what that part of you will do, that part of you will sabotage your success. Like you earn an extra few grand. She's not going to let that happen, because that means that's her security and safety in danger. So this is where it's not logic doesn't only gets you so far, and actually it can get in the way, because you can get people get so caught in their head and they need to intellectualize everything, and it can be a real barrier to letting go of blocked emotions when people feel like they need to understand it all, they need to intellectualize it, because that just can create that very often just creates much more resistance actually.
So looking at the blocks, in particular, do the blocks that people may experience, could that be affecting even the choice of businesses that you might go into, the kind of risks you might take in that business, and maybe, your ability to network with certain people? Does it go to that level?
Oh, absolutely. It affects all areas of your life because, you know, if your child part is afraid of being visible, afraid of being exposed, and you're trying to run a business, it's a massive contradiction. Like you're out there doing all the things, but this part of you is like, we can't be too visible because we'll be, you know, something terrible is going to happen. So what then you've got split energy. And the bigger part of you is the subconscious part. It's that part, you know. So only 5% of you is like plowing forward, burning yourself out, doing all the things and not really making the progress that you want. And it's because you've got this conflict in your energy. And this isn't to blame or shame anyone. This is actually about taking responsibility, which is 180 degrees different from blaming or shaming. Because when you take responsibility, you give yourself the gift of the ability to respond. Responsibility, you give yourself the ability to respond. Whereas blame and shame is looking backwards. Responsibility is always looking forwards, looking what can we create from here. And it's absolutely totally different attitude and energy about it.
Okay. So I'm now going to go to Emma because, of course, you have designed this great program that you're supporting women through. So tell us a bit about your own personal journey. Like, how has it been? What's got you to where you are doing this work? Because I think sometimes people look to their coaches like, well, what was your journey? Like, how did you do
Yeah.
it? How can I trust you with my work if you've not done the work? So tell me about your journey around this whole money blocks and how's it affected you in the work that you've done with women?
Yeah, and that's a great point because I mean, I didn't plan on being in this line of work at all. I was going to be a human rights lawyer, so I studied human rights law. Went off to Palestine. I went over to the UK and did the law conversion course over there. And then after I finished that, I was like, God, I don't want to do this. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I very naively thought, you know, if I just figure out what I want to do, then everything, the angels will come down, pathway will become clear, and it'll be so easy. And I was looking for to heal myself. So I found this energy work, and everyone was like, I just had a natural aptitude for it. And also the yoga, and I loved it. And it like saved me in that dark time. And I decided, wow, this is a thing. This is what I want to do. I remember telling my mother about it actually, and her being very disapproving and telling me that you can't do that. And you know, I realized a lot of approval and their validation of my parents, which was something that really held me back. But I mean, even after that, um, for years and years, I was like struggling with business, knowing that I was really good at what I did, because I always knew I'm really good at this. So why is it not working? I'm doing the right things. And then for a long time, I knew that I was sabotaging as well. And I was heaping all this shame on myself, which obviously digs you deeper into the hole, you know, because when you're shaming yourself, you're just digging yourself deeper into, so you're feeding that self-sabotage circle, or vicious cycle. So I was there and I was there for a long time. And it wasn't until I really, you know, took 100% responsibility for my life and started, you know, moving out of shame, accepting where I was and getting rid of all those shoulds and comparisons with other people who were further along or whatever, and just allowed myself to be on my own journey and invested in myself and fully committed. Because I think for a long time I was also sitting on the fence, like one foot in and one foot out, and very, very hard to be successful. You know, also very uncomfortable place to be, sitting on the barbed wire fence there. You know, so I really had to fully commit to myself that this is what I wanted. And that's been really the journey. And then I realized that I mean I'm not the only one. Took me a while to figure out my niche, who I wanted to serve. And you know, for a while I thought it was, you know, helping people figure out their purpose. But then, you know, it kind of dawned on me that the real journey for me has been this, you know, stepping into my power with, you know, moving out of my own conflicts and self-sabotage and negative thinking, which really had me in a stranglehold all my life, pretty much. And I know that it affects so many other women as well, because I talk to women all the time, and I really think this is the number one thing that's stopping, especially female entrepreneurs, from having the success they want. It is this piece, and it's not addressed sufficiently in so many of the programs and courses out there. Like, they might do a bit of positive thinking and affirmations and all of that, but the thing is, if you're not addressing, if you're not releasing these blockages, that's like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. It's not going to stick. It's like putting a smiley face on depression. I mean, that doesn't solve the problem. And I think a lot of people are doing that and wondering why it's not working for me. And it's because you need to clear, if you go out in the garden, even if you plant wildflowers, you need to dig up the weeds. You can't just go out to the garden and pray there's no weeds. It's just and I see lots of people doing that in their business. They're saying, I'm a millionaire. And the thing is, they don't believe that at all. And it's just a form of really non-acceptance of where you are. And when you're fully okay with where you are, when you fully accept where you are and take responsibility for that, then you give yourself permission to move forward from there. And that means no comparing yourself to other people, no judging yourself. And it's kind of paradox. The more, like, you're on the stepping stone, if you're denying the stepping stones that have got you to where you are, and you're even denying the stepping stone that you're on, it's really hard to take the next step forward. So we've got to bring that energy in before we can really move forward and step into our power.
Okay, so how do you deal with women who may be, and I'd say especially if you're talking about women of color, that faith is a big part of their thinking. That's a foundation of most of people's lives who are in that group. It may be because religion, faith has been something that they have been taught from early years, and now energy work. How does that work with people who are in faith? Is there a conflict, or is it very easy to work with women who are in that category?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, I don't see any conflict, because you're basically working with that energy. You can call it God, you can call it whatever you want to call it. And I suppose one way, one lady, it's like praying. It's like praying for what you want rather than praying for what you don't want. And unfortunately, lots of people, subconsciously are praying a lot of the time for what they don't want, and even consciously they're going around saying, don't have the money, don't have the money, I can't afford it, I can't afford it. And then this is their affirmations to themselves. And even when they say things like, even when they want to make the 5 6 figures or whatever it is, their energy is in the lack of it. So that's what they're actually praying for, not having the money. They're praying for not having the money, because that's the energy that they're in at the time. So I absolutely don't see any conflict. But and I haven't really, I mean, because we're all, I mean, I wouldn't call myself religious, but I'm definitely, like, this is spiritual work. And this is about releasing like Rumi says, we don't need to seek for love. We just remove the barriers that we've created um, against it. So we don't need to go and find anything. We don't need to do anything. We just need to clear the barriers and the self-protection and the maladaptions that we've put in place to protect ourselves, that we thought we needed, but we don't need anymore. So we can, and that are stopping us from being successful and making the money that we want.
Okay. And so I do the prayers, or I do the affirmations, or I change my thinking, which is what I think you're saying. If I attract the money, will I be happier? Because I think sometimes people are a bit like,
Yeah.
I'm afraid of money because I'm afraid that, I feel like there is a belief somewhere underneath that
Yeah.
it will make me happy. Can it make you happier, or how do you see money in that sense of the emotion?
Well, money doesn't change you. That's the first thing. That's a common money block. People think money makes you bad, money makes you greedy. And if you believe those things, obviously you don't want to be that person. So you're going to be pushing money away. And I think that's really common. There's this resentment of wealthy people that's so common out there. And it's almost like praised, there's some kind of humility about being poor. But they have done studies and they've shown that having money up to a certain level does actually make you happier. But then beyond that, it doesn't make you happier. So well, it's money is important, and that's something that people, like a lot of spiritual people, they have this belief that money is not important. And you know what? I'm not, when I say money is important, I'm not comparing it to love or anything else. I'm just saying it's important. It's the means of exchange that we have here on the planet. It's how we give and receive value. If I receive something of value with you, I give you money in exchange. Like 500 years ago would have been beads and stones and things and sheep and that's a bit inconvenient now. So now we use this thing called money. It's not bad. It's not evil, and money doesn't change you. Money just makes you have a bigger impact. It increases your imprint on the planet. Like you can make a bigger impression with money. You can leave a bigger mark with money. So it brings out what's inside. That's the thing. It doesn't change you. So if you're already greedy and malicious, it's gonna expand that. It's gonna put a magnifying glass on that. And if you're a really good, caring person, it's gonna magnify that within you as well. So it's really time for people, especially women, who are heart-centered, to really step up and start making the money they deserve now, because that's how we're going to change the world. We're not going to change the world by hiding in the shadows and saying that it's humble to be poor and that we choose to be poor. We didn't come here to be poor. We came here to have a good life and live our best life. And that's your job. Because when you show up and you're really living your best life, you give other people permission to do that too. Because so many people out there, they have no models of that. They don't even know that it's possible. So the biggest gift that you can give the world and the people around you is to step into your best life and start living that.
Oh, thank you. That is a great way to kind of segue into your future plans. Okay, so what is the plan for your business? In fact, tell us the name of the business. What's the name of your business?
It's Experience True Self is the name of the business, and so it's I teach yoga as well. So it's kind of, but my focus has kind of moved to these money blocks. But it is really, like you said, for me, it's not just about the money. Like you were saying, money doesn't just make you happy. And that's very much how I work. It's not just about getting the money. It's about finding your sweet spot of being happy and being fulfilled. Because so many people, they go after the money and then they realize, I am not fulfilled, I'm not happy. But when I work with people, I help them find that place where they're happy, they're fulfilled, they're making the money that they want, they're living in alignment. Basically, that's what it is. They're living in alignment with who they really are, and they're following their higher selves, or they're living on purpose. And that is really powerful. When people are living on purpose, they become unstoppable.
Okay, what's the future for your business? What's your plan? Like, what's the bigger goal? How many women
Right.
are you looking to impact, for example, in the next year?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I have a group program, it's called Money Alignment Mastery. So I am looking to work with hundreds of women yeah, I mean, at the moment I'm doing small groups of people in that group, but I'm my mission, I would love to work with, thousands of people, maybe a million, like in the long term, moving out there and really create massive change on the planet. Because the great thing is, when I work with one person, they go out and share that with other people. So it creates this massive domino effect in the world. So it's spreading the light just by helping one person to really step up their vibration.
Okay, okay. Well, Emma, I wasn't sure what I was going to learn from you tonight, but I have learned so much. I really want to thank you so much for spending the time with me. I just want you to, before you go, to remind people again about what your business is and where we can find you. Where are you out there?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, so you can come and find me on Instagram. I'm making lots of reels at the moment. Emma S. Lyons on there, also on Facebook, you can find me. And yeah, I'm experiencetrueself.com. And also, what I would love, if there's anyone out there who's feeling stuck in their business or who feels like they need this kind of help, you can reach out to me and we can have like a 15-minute conversation. It's called a money breakthrough call. And it's for people who are really ready, or really have feel blocked somehow, or money is slipping through their fingers. They're not keeping it, and they're really ready for their next level, whatever that is for you. Because I work with people at all levels, so whatever level you're at, I can help you make it to the next level. So I would love to offer that to your viewers as well, and I can leave that link in the chat.
Yes. We'll put the link below, guys, at the end of watching this video. Please go to the link below if you want to connect with Emma. Emma, I thank you so much for your time today. It's been awesome. I feel like I need to visit Ireland very soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to visit your social network links and yes, definitely help you to connect with other people. Thank you so much for being my hidden gem. You are, in fact, a hidden gem. But more people will know you as a result of this interview. So thank you very much for your time.
Cool. Thanks, Emily. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah.